Hey, what's happening, everybody? Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the first episode in the brand new year of 2022 of Live from My Mother's Basement with yours truly, comedian Mike Marino. I truly hope everybody is happy and you're starting off this brand new, fucked up year in a great way. I'm very happy to present my first guest for the new year on the show. This is Anthony, and I have a very hard time saying his last name because you want to talk about having an Italian last name. This guy's last name's so Italian you could say it 4 fucking words and not get it the right way. Anthony, say it.
Anthony Sciarratta.
Sciarratta. Now, of course, he's...
Not Sciarratta. Not Sciarratta. Tell my 5th grade gym teacher that. I was Sciarratta, Sciarratta.
And that's why I have a hard time with his last name, because there's a C, and that's not how you say Sciarratta. But in Italian, you do. And I can understand there's probably some motherfucker. Somebody's calling me during the show, which is going to shut the phone off. We'll start this again. Hold on a minute. I have to call you back, okay? I'll call you back in an hour. Hold on down there, everybody. We're having technical difficulties.
How you doing?
Yeah. How you doing? Oh, fuck. We'll be right back. What the hell's that noise?
I don't know, man. Maybe I stepped on a mouse or something.
Yep. All right, we're starting again on Instagram. Unfortunately, when some people call the actual phone, it fucks up the phone and it shuts it off. And I really wish I could call that person and say, if you were watching my show, you would know not to call me at the particular time. So everybody on Instagram, here we go. We're starting again. Live from my mother's basement. It's a brand new year. It's January 4th, 2022. And we're here with Anthony Sciarratta. And for everybody who's watching on Facebook, they realize it's a difficult name to say until he says it. Then we realize it becomes an actually good name to say. So, Sciarratta is spelled with a C, and I wanted to say Sciarratta, which would make an Italian kid get very annoyed and say, well, what are you, from the United States?
Yeah.
or as some of us say from back in the day, what are you, Medigan?
Medigan.
My mother always said that.
My dad always calls my mom that. I hope that she's not watching this, but he calls her Medigan constantly. She? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
She's the kind that's kind of cool with like a cheese sandwich. Like he's like sitting there. He's got to have the braciole, the fucking meatballs, the whole nine. She's like, I'll just have a ham sandwich. And it drives him crazy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we never had ham sandwiches in this house. That wasn't something that was presented in the Marino household. My mother's last name is Berardo, and she never brought it down. We never had it for breakfast or anything. The only thing that we eventually started having is, because we're Jersey people, Taylor ham or pork roll. Pork roll, egg and cheese on a hard roll is the most delicious sandwich that you can get. It's not really a big New York thing, especially where he's from on the outer boroughs. We're going to talk about that because a lot of people around the world get confused when they hear a New Yorker. When Anthony came over this afternoon, and I've met him once or twice before, his accent is very different from most New Yorkers. You would think maybe Brooklyn, upstate New York has a completely different accent. They sound like they're from Chicago or from, I don't know, Canada or some shit like that. But Anthony, thank you so much for coming down to the basement. Like a true Italian gentleman, he brought some pastries. Because an Italian person doesn't go over somebody's house, what?
Without being empty. You never go over someone's house being empty-handed.
Right.
Never.
You don't go anywhere empty-handed.
Never.
Because your parents would say, what are we?
Gavon.
Gavons. You got to bring something. And you're a gavone if you what?
You're a gavone if you eat too much, take too much, like, you eat the whole spread of antipasta sitting there.
We got to talk about that because a lot of people started to call it charcuteries. I saw you guys talking before the show, and we have somebody who actually makes charcuteries. But it's really wrong to take back what you brought.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for you to say.
Big time.
You're a gavone if you take it back. You're like, hey, they didn't need it, right?
That's bad. No, I've actually had friends. I'm sad to say this, but I've had friends that have brought back half drank bottles of liquor home.
Right.
That's crazy. Like that's like a line drawn with an Italian household. You never do something like that.
It's almost like re-gifting only half the gift.
Yeah.
But you brought it to your house. That's not such a bad thing. I can understand if you went to somebody's house with a beautiful bottle of alcohol and they said, but we don't drink. And you're like,
Yeah.
Too bad.
Different
Because
story.
we do, and we take it home.
Yeah. Different story.
Because there are some people, like myself, if I brought that bottle to somebody's house and they said they didn't drink, I'd be like, you never know who, somebody might come over.
Yeah.
And then you leave it there. And then you go home and go, shit, should have brought them something else. But anyway, so Anthony, being a nice Italian boy, growing up in a household where they didn't eat ham unless the father wanted it, he came over with some pastries, and we're going to show everybody the pastries that he brought.
Yes.
And I'm going to eat a few because that's what I do. And then I'll make sure that he doesn't go home with any of those pastries because they belong here in the house.
Straight from Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Fortunato's Bakery. I've been going there probably since I've been born. I've been eating there God knows how many years now. I'm 26, so 26 years. Family-owned restaurant since 1976. Absolutely old school place. You want to go back in time to like the 1970s Italian old school, that's the place to be.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, we really didn't even get into the interview, and this guy's plugging the neighborhood pastry shop.
It's my favorite place in the world, Mike. One of my favorite. I'm there every Sunday with my nono. One of my favorite places on the face of the planet.
I think he just showed his age.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Now, since we're on the subject matter, I'm going to have to get the box of the pastries. This guy just talked about a pastry place. We don't. I hope they're watching right now. And this is the box. You know, and it came over the authentic way. So let's go ahead and get off the track, which means we're going to have some fun tonight. First of all, I love when someone comes over my house, or I love when we would go over somebody's house, and the pastries are coming, right? You could see them because the box is bulging. It's not right? It's bulging.
Yeah, it
the
is
box.
bulging. It was.
And it got the string on it, and the string is tight. The string is tight on the pastry box so that you can hold it with the strings. And then, you know, you look at each other like, hey, who's got the scissor, right? Who's got the knife? Or when your father was around or your grandfather was around, he got that knife that was like 6 feet long just to cut the one thing and go, bang! And then you knew there was going to be way too many pastries in the box because it's bulging like somebody's fat fucking stomach. And then he cut the string.
Trying to say something, Mike?
Yeah, no, I
Trying
said
to say
nothing.
something?
Believe me, if I wanted to call you fat, I'd say you're fucking
You
fat.
are a comedian. I think my dad said that you made fun of him once in the
Your
crowd.
dad?
Yeah.
He was in my audience?
Yeah, because he looks like Tony Soprano.
Oh, he does?
Just like him. So I think that you made one of the like comments to him. He was cracking up about it. He's a big fan of yours, man.
You know what's really funny?
Big fan.
9 out of 10 Italian guys look like Tony Soprano, let's be honest. And you know what's really funny, too? Their name probably is Tony.
Yeah.
Which is short for Anthony. Anthony!
How you doing?
This pastry box is bulging, right? Now, we took a few out. Not gonna lie to you. You got to taste the stuff. You got to taste it. But look at this beautiful box. I love the box. It's nice and blue, right? This is what you want to see under your Christmas tree, as far as I'm concerned. But why wait? Because Santa might have ate it. Imagine that's an Italian house. Would we leave for
that's
Santa?
a good point.
Fucking pastries.
I saw some people, I forgot what like video that it was. These parents were leaving Santa carrots and celery. It wasn't for the reindeer. It was for Santa. I'm not even kidding you. It was a TikTok video.
Oh.
That's how far our society has like come, where they're leaving Santa carrots and celery.
That's how far our society came, that they're actually making shit on TikTok to annoy the fuck out of some real good Italian people. That's disgusting. So here's the box, and this is his friend's pastry shop. So
Bakery.
I would go there immediately. I hope the guy's watching, because when I come in there, I want to be treated like Mike Marino. Fortunato Brothers since 1976. Cafe Pasticceria. I wonder if I said that right. Cakes and gelato. I never was a big fan of gelato.
What?
I love gelato.
Oh, I was gonna say. Come on,
love
Mike. I was about
gelato.
to say, get the bat.
Let's go ahead and see what's in this box. We're supposed to be making fun of him because wait till you hear what happened to him on the way over.
Oh my God.
This is the first time in the history of anybody calling me going, I got a flat, I don't know what to do.
I deserve that 100%.
Look at these motherfucking pastries. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, Instagram. Look
How
at
you
that.
doing?
How you doing? Look at that shit. Okay, now listen.
Have you ever had a cannoli shot?
A cannoli shot?
That's a cannoli shot. So it's half a cannoli with like cream, and they call it a cannoli shot. First
No.
I've ever heard of that.
I think we'll do some shots later. I got some limoncello behind here.
There we go.
The funniest thing about Italian pastries, there are some that are absolutely 100% delicious.
Yes.
There's also Italian pastries you look like, who the fuck made this? Right? I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of pretty much everything that's in this box. I was never really a big fan of cannolis. It's not my thing. But this, my grandmother used to make these.
Homemade?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh.
That's
And
gotta
they're
be treat.
so delicious. You just eat them and eat them and eat them. There's no way you could put this shit down, even on a full stomach. Look at the cream just saying, oh, please lick me. How's that funny? We're serious about that. I'm Italian. When I go down, I don't mess around. I eat till I'm done. Look at the cream coming out of that puff.
Mike, you're killing me,
Look,
man.
I gotta kill somebody.
I think
I'm
my
Italian.
mom's watching this. Take it easy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mama. Look at the cream coming out of that puff. I'm going to suck that like you have no idea later on when we have a little cappuccino. I don't want to bite it right now because it'll be on my face while I'm doing the cast. This is a delicious...
Oh, that's
There's only
my
one in
favorite.
here. And I don't know why they only brought one. But that's pistachio nut on the top of that, isn't it?
And cream on the inside.
Like motherfucking cream. You cannot explain this without cursing. Sorry. So for all you children watching, or you piss-ass people who are offended by the F word, this is fucking delicious. I remember when I was a kid, sometimes cakes like this would come over the house, and I had an older brother and a younger brother, and there was only one. So what did we do? Anybody? What'd you do? You lick it. You lick it so that they're like, oh, man, you ruined it. And unless you had your younger brother go, I don't care. And he ate it anyway. All right, so there and there's another cream puff. There's this thing. Oh, wow.
I don't even know what that's called. To be
I don't know
honest
what
with
this is called there, but if you look close, it does look like a penis. Let's be honest. Doesn't it look like a penis? Here's the head, and here's the shaft. I'm not eating this one. Here, you want your penis? There's a penis cake, and there's these cakes that I normally don't like, but if you eat these when they're fresh,
Wait. What do you call those though?
this
There's like a
I
big
don't
debate
even
about
know.
this.
There's a lot of them in here. This one with all the colors. What is it?
People call them either rainbow cookies or 3-layer cake. I've never heard of the
Three-layer
3-layer
cake.
cake.
I would say
Really?
3-layer cake,
I've
yeah.
never heard of that.
Get out of my
honestly.
house. 3-layer
You
cake.
reminded me.
It's the 3-layer cake. Look how excited
I'll
I'm
just
a
go
fucking
drive.
child.
I'll just go drive home on my little donut. All right.
He came on a fucking donut. And here's another.
I don't know what that's called either, to be honest. I always get the same thing when I go to
I've
Fortunato.
never seen this, but this looks like a scooter pie. Anybody remember scooter pie? Scooter pie, Drake's Cakes. No, not Drake's Cakes.
Yeah.
Scooter
I actually know
pie.
what you're talking about.
When I was a kid, my mother put the scooter pie in the lunch pail, and when we got to school, we threw them at each other. It was like a hockey puck. But there's a couple of other great cakes in here. There's the famous one, the clam. This is a bear claw?
It's for your Dell.
It's just oh yeah.
It's for your Dell.
Here's the Schvedel that nobody knows how to say.
It's a mini one.
It's a mini Schvedel, which is great. See the way my pinky went up? You take this and you dip it in your coffee. If you're an asshole like me, you dip it in your cappuccino or a macchiato. Oh, I just made myself so fucking hungry. And this is the most delicious shit. Wait a minute, I just got to read one thing because somebody wrote a fucking paragraph.
I just saw
Wait a
that.
minute. Us Jews should really get along with Italians better. We also can't help but turn the act of eating into a
Softcore porn.
Hey, now wait a minute. Who said anything about porn? Where the hell is that penis cake?
That's the first time I have ever heard someone said Italians and Jews do not get along.
Always trying to be funny.
Yeah, no, I know, because my dad always told me this. He goes, "You want something good in life? Have a good Jewish lawyer next to you."
There's no reason why a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures can't get along, especially when you're happy in your life, because we all know that there's one way to make people get along: food. You cannot argue when you're eating food because it's in your mouth, and you got to keep your mouth shut while you're eating, because that's what your father said or your mother. Shut your mouth while you're eating, otherwise everybody sees what's in your mouth, right? So now if you were eating that penis cake and you opened your mouth, I knew you eat a penis cake. So it's okay to laugh. We're on a talk show.
I got to tell you something funny about this Sfogliatelle, Mike.
Okay.
So, Fortunato's, and aside from like them, because this is an interesting Italian fact, they are one of the only few people that still make it by hand. A lot of the places make it frozen. They pre-freeze them. They make them in a factory. Still have an authentic family recipe by hand.
This Sfogliatelle?
It is rare to almost get that anywhere, ever again.
Saying Sfogliatelle is almost as
Sfogliatelle.
hard as saying his last name, Sclafani. How do you even spell Sfogliatelle? I can't even say it without making some kind of a weird face. Watch. Oh, it's the Sfogliatelle. It's just Sfogliatelle.
I try to say it like the Paulie Walnuts way. Like
Yeah.
Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos, when he says Sfogliatelle, he's like, "What's this Sfogliatelle?"
It's just
He like says it with like that emphasis.
When my mother was around and pastries would come to the house, she'd open up the box like she never saw the pastries before in her life. But she's been seeing the pastries her whole life. So she opened up the box, go like this. Oh, Marino, would you look at that Sfogliatelle? I'm like, Ma, you just had it last Sunday. Yeah, but this one is this. And she'd spit on everything, too. I guess she didn't want nobody else eating it. Pastries are beautiful. You know what's even more beautiful? The pastry shop. When you go in there, it smells like love. Heaven is love. So, see, we both get it. And I'm sure the Jewish guy writing in knows it smells like heaven, too. And you get in there by believing in God. Anyway, it's all right. There's a book. You can read it. You can get it at the hotel. Us Italians, we take it. It don't belong there.
I gotta ask you, Mike, because I've always been like curious. Now, you're what generation Italian? Second, third? Like, you know, I've always been curious to ask you that.
Well, I'll start off by saying you haven't watched my show, because I've given that answer many times.
I'm
just breaking your
watching
balls.
show for years.
I'm just breaking your balls because you're eating cake. It's half and half. My mother truly was born in Italy. My father's Italian, and he's from Jersey City, which back in that day, it was like Italy anyway.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, of course. Literally.
And all my mother's brothers and sisters, including the cousin that was just calling that ruined the podcast, they're all Italians from Duronia, Campobasso. I am Abruzzese on my mother's side, a little bit of Sicilian on my father's side, but mostly Abruzzese. And that's the dialect that my mother actually speaks. So when I say gravy and not sauce, you can't really get mad at me, because that's what my mother said, and they come from the motherland. If they were saying it there, why wouldn't they say it here? I never even heard the word mitigan until my mother would constantly say it about our relatives when they first came in, and she'd say, these are the mitigans. The mitigans, which is Americans in Italian, is pretty much self-explanatory.
So you're a gravy guy.
Yes.
Is
why
like what I
not?
got from that. No. Sauce the whole
Get
way.
off my show,
Sauce the whole
you
way.
Penis cake eating guy.
I like braciole too. Is like that a problem?
No, braciole is the shit.
But it's also penis shaped.
Well, we can go a lot of different. We can go a lot of different places with a braciole. When I was a kid, I thought a braciole was a fat girl. That's right, I said it. It's fucking funny. That's what we thought. We don't think that way no more.
There's like a modern word for that.
You know what?
We don't say braciole anymore though.
It could have been anything. Because when we were kids, everybody said, "Oh man, Owen, did you see that braciole?" And you were outdoors going, "What? Mommy's cooking?" But you were really looking at maybe a hot-looking woman, you know.
No one knows what that means anymore though.
Braciole?
If I went to a girl, I was like, hypothetically speaking, I would never do this, but you like want to see my braciole? She would be like, "Huh?" Unless she was Italian. Nobody knows what that means anymore.
Well, then date Italian girls.
Yeah, well, I'm trying, man. I got to get the old school ones. New school ones, I don't know. They like use the word gravy too much.
There's nothing wrong with a little gravy, especially when there's braciole inside the gravy.
True.
Nothing like putting your braciole in the gravy. That's what makes macaroni. This is the funniest fucking show. I can't.
I think that the Jewish guy was right when he's talking about softcore porn.
Call us. We're live.
How you doing? Beat me. Do me a favor. I still got my
We're
beeper.
talking about the 80s, but maybe we'll get to it. When my mother would cook down here in the basement, over there in that corner, there's pots and pans over there that are from my grandmother.
They still have the taste and everything in them.
Yes,
The flavor.
the smell, the burnt,
Mm-hmm.
and they would spend hours and days making, whether you call it sauce or gravy, and all the meats were in there, and it would cook. This whole house would smell like a gorgeous Italian restaurant, and then they'd freeze it. They put it in Tupperwares. They would put it in the jars, and they jarred, whether you call it sauce or gravy, out in the yard. The meat was always frozen, but the sauce was in the jars. And the jars could either be kept cold or whatever. And then my mother used to mail it to me when I first moved to California. So I'd sit down with a bunch of real California mitigans with sausage and peppers and brajolles and all kinds of delicacies from my house, including Stella D'Oro cookies.
Oh,
and my
love
mother
those.
would mail it to me.
Really? So
Yeah.
she would mail you her homemade sauce.
Yes.
That is the most Italian thing I've ever
Oh,
heard
yes.
in my life.
We'll go
I don't
even
even
one
think
step
that
further.
I don't even think that my mom would do that.
Not only that, I had to mail back the Tupperware.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That's as Italian as it comes times 50.
Tupperware back in the day when they had Tupperware parties and people would come over somebody's house and they, oh, you want to buy some Tupperware? And it pops and it pops. So I even still have some of those Tupperware. It was round ones and they're gravy stained. You put gravy in one of those things or sauce, you put it in a microwave, you ain't never getting that red stain out of the Tupperware.
See, but did you really think that that goes like gravy stained? I feel like, you know, when I see like a red Tupperware, I'm like sauce stained. The gravy stain just, you know, like it doesn't.
We all have our points. All right, well, you know, that's just the way we said it. I miss those days. And not only did my mother freeze it and put it in the Tupperware, she took a mopine, or for you mitigans, she took a dish towel and wrapped the dish towel around it and pulled it.
Wow.
Why? I really don't know. I think it was to make it look like, I don't know, Little Red Riding Hood, and I was escaping reality. And then she put cans of soup and even bread. And she would get it to me overnight back
That's
in the day
awesome.
before there was FedEx or Federal Express.
What a
It was
good
just
mom.
regular mail.
God bless her. What a good mom.
Yeah. Let's get to this interview before we forget.
Yeah.
See, we have pastries. We're talking about Mom. We're talking about Anthony. And Anthony comes from an Italian family. And he comes from where? Where did you drive over from?
So I currently live in West Babylon, Long Island, but I was born and raised in Queens, Maspeth, Middle Village area.
Being a New Jersey guy, I never really knew a lot about Queens. Here in New Jersey, we heard Queens. We're like, oh, don't go there. It's dangerous. And then you would see Queens. You were like, hey, it looks like Jersey. It's a
It does
suburb.
look like Jersey.
What the fuck you guys doing? And then you never wanted to go to the Bronx because the word the Bronx made you think you're going to get killed.
All right, that one you really don't want to go to.
Yeah, I don't wanna go to the
You don't want to go to the Bronx.
Unless you want to visit Arthur Avenue
Yeah.
on Christmas Eve. Because then you're safe.
True.
Nothing
True.
but Italians
The
on
one
the
day
street.
of the year.
The one day of the year you're safe in the Bronx on Arthur Avenue is when everybody goes to get pastries. There's a pastry shop on Arthur Avenue and holds my picture on the wall.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it's called.
I think I know what you're talking
The guy
about.
wrote
'cause
to me
I
a bunch
saw-
of times. He's like, you
yeah.
gotta come. I'm like, I ain't coming to the Bronx. In the Bronx, they have a street where there's trains going above your head. And I'm not talking about a regular train. I'm talking about a subway train. It pops out of the subway and goes over your head, then goes back under. It's like petrifying. Who the fuck lives there? Anyway, so then there's the Bronx, then there's Queens, Long Island, and then Brooklyn. What's another outer borough? Staten Island?
Staten Island.
And is it 5 boroughs, right?
Yeah, but Long Island is not a borough, though. I would like to make it a borough. That would be great.
I don't even know the difference between a borough and a Staten.
I should campaign on that.
What's the difference?
I don't even know, to be honest. I think the boroughs are in the city limits.
Oh,
Long Island is officially outside of the city limits.
well, then maybe you want to stay outside the city limits because the city limits is making you do all the COVID practicing, whereas Long Island's not.
That's why I left. Part of the reason.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm a young man. I'm 26. I want to do my thing. I have the vaccine 3 times over. I want to do my own thing now.
right. I've been vaccinated like you have no idea. My left arm is shot. I got a walnut in my arm. It's just, the fuck did I do to myself? The outer boroughs, if you're watching from different parts of the world, which a lot of people do, which is kind of cool.
I think that my cousin's in this chat, actually. I see him over there. Anthony D'Agostoli. What's up, Ant? Ant and
Hi,
Cousin
Anthony.
Kim.
We're on television.
doing? Yeah.
Ah. Keep watching. I see all these hearts.
Yeah.
The outer boroughs all sound differently, whereas people in Manhattan have perfect all-American speech, unless they're from a different country.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even recognize your accent.
That bad?
I know some Long Islanders that have that Long Island, and you can hear how high their hair is. That's fucking funny, isn't it? You can hear how high their hair is. Jeez,
is
how
funny.
high is your hair?
We have to go to Governors, and you have to say that.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll write that down.
That's golden.
Governors is a comedy club in
Yeah.
Long Island, and that's, I think, where we met, right?
Yes, that
Well,
is where we met for the
but
first
I knew you
time.
before that, right?
Yeah, a couple phone calls, Italian
Phone
stuff.
calls. I gave out my number. A pigeon came over. Anthony wants to talk to you. How many people remember a TV commercial a long time ago from Ronzoni Macaroni? Maybe you ran this.
Wow.
And the kid goes running down the street, and the guy goes, Anthony always knows it's Prince Spaghetti Day. No, maybe it was Prince Spaghetti Day, because it's Sunday at 3:00. And then the lady opens up the window and goes, Anthony! And the kid's running down the street. That so reminded me of my family, because my mother used to do just that. She would open up the window and she'd scream out the window, Anthony, because that's my younger brother's name. And he would like, what do you want? Tell your father to get out of the bar. It's time to eat. You didn't see that coming. Tall hair. From Governors. But Brooklyn has an accent completely different than Long Island. Long Island's different than Staten Island. Staten Island, I don't know. You can't even talk to those people.
Here's the perfect way to tell if you have an accent. How do you say dog?
Dog.
See, now people from the Midwest say dog.
Dog, yes.
Dog. I'm like, dog.
Dog.
You know, hardcore dog.
Dog.
Where the dog's at.
Dog.
Yeah, like, whoever's watching from over there, I don't know how you go around saying dog. I don't mean it in like a mean way. I could just imagine going to a New York, New Jersey guy and be like, how's your dog doing?
No, you would get beat up. That's why I don't go to Starbucks. I can't say the word crimpet. Can I have a crimpet? Get the fuck out of here. It's true. When I was 18 years old, I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I had this lady. Her name was Elizabeth Himmelstein, and she was my speech teacher. And she would say, what's going on in your mouth? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on in my mouth. What do you mean? The way you sound. And I go, you sound like you're nuts, lady, quite honestly. And so we would learn, it is not walk, it's walk. It's not talk, it's talk. And I said, yeah, tell that to my friends. Watch me get my ass kicked. I come home from school going, hi, guys, let's walk and talk. And they're like, never mind. But sound, we say sound.
Yeah.
Ground, brown. How now, brown cow?
Coffee.
Well, coffee's correct English.
Yeah. No, I'm like just saying, like how they say coffee.
Oh, yeah. Well,
coffee.
Quite honestly, the correct pronunciation of those words is the way they do it. We actually fuck it up. Speech therapy I had. You know why? It's because people in the South, like Texas, have a draw. The draw, because they open up their jaw when they speak. Howdy. Whereas New Yorkers and people from New Jersey, we clench up our cheeks. They don't. Right? And that's one of the theories. I always made up my own theory because it's cold here and we're freezing. We're going,
That reminds me of the scene from Donnie Brasco where it's like the winter and they're all crowded around the club. And they're all like this,
it's too
freezing
cold.
their asses off.
Yeah, well, that's the way that happened. And there's also a lot of different accents from around the world. And they're fun as long as I get to make fun of them. I remember when we were younger and we were hanging out at the nightclubs and the girls from Staten Island would come around with the high hair back in the 80s and the lipstick. And Jersey girls did it too, but you could hear the twang and the chewing of the gum. You remember that? You guys going dancing? I got my Capicios
They're going
on.
right here for you, man. I chew.
Yeah, well, that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons
yeah.
why I left this stuff
Yeah.
on the table, because I didn't even know what this is. And, this is not something like a tough guy would have.
I didn't bring it.
Anthony, what do you
I didn't
want?
bring it. I'm a big caddy daddy. I
Yeah.
should bring that kind of stuff. I just can't change tires. That's all.
Anthony, you want to have some big chew? Nah, I'm gonna have the sweet and sour candy, Johnny. And I'm glad he brought that up because we almost forgot. Now, Anthony drove out here with a friend. We can't mention this type of thing. His friend's a little embarrassed about what happened. And they came out in a Cadillac. Tell them what kind of car you got.
1978 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, sold to me by Mikey D at Hollywood Motors. Great guy. I gotta put in the plug because Mike hooked me up, man. Mike hooked me up. Mikey D's a great guy.
I don't care. I'm laughing that he's got a code name, Mikey D.
Mikey D. Mikey Carfellas, really. But yeah, Marky Carfellas. That's a Marky. Mikey Car. You're making me laugh. I can't even talk.
Goodfellas or Carfellas? Actually, there's a couple of guys from Goodfellas watching the show right now.
Really?
Frank Severo, who played Carbone. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Frankie Carbone. Frankie Carbone. Hey, Gucci. How much about?
Is he the best?
Yeah. Oh,
He's coming down the
I
best.
have never met him, but I would love to meet him. Have you ever done we should do a TikTok skit with him where we hang him in the meat locker. Like in the movie.
It would be nice to do something like that. Hey, guys who are watching on Instagram right now, if you don't mind, would you please let me know if you could still hear this podcast? Love Mike and his wife, Nancy. Well, I don't know who that is.
Mike, are you...
Mikey D? Oh, somebody knows Mikey D.
Oh, yes. Mikey D, yeah.
And that is Sharon Pfeiffer, and she's originally from Long Island, and she's watching the show. What happened? Still no sound. Motherfucker.
Maybe we need to stop and start again with Instagram. God damn it. How you doing? No sound, Mike. Fuck.
Yeah. All right. Tell everybody in Facebook right now, because I'm going to shut that off and start it again. What happened on your way over to my house with your car and the big caddy daddy waddy.
Big daddy, waddy. Waddy's the first one. So anyway, I'm 26 years old, but I'm an old soul. I have the mind of someone like Mike, basically. 50-year-old man. I don't know, but that might be a little young for you, right?
Oh, and he's pissed. We'll be right back. Keep on watching. Go ahead, tell him.
So anyway, have a 1978 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, mint condition, tip-top shape. I'm driving here, flying. Nothing could go wrong. There's no traffic whatsoever. I'm with my friend. And sure enough, I'm about 5 minutes away from Mike's house, and I hear on the right side of my car. I pull over. The tire looks a little fucked up. You know, I put some air in it. I'm like, all right, it'll be fine. Go another couple feet, completely flat. Now, what's interesting is that I didn't know that cars from the 70s or the late 70s have a jack like I've never seen before in my whole fucking life.
Oh, we were interrupted, but we're talking about how he got here and how his car got a flat, and him and his tough guy driver didn't know what to do, and they panicked because they never heard of a thing called AAA.
Hey. I've never seen that kind of jack in my life. This thing looked like Captain Hook's claw. Like, I've never seen you said that it's supposed to go on, like, the front of the car? Have you ever seen a jack that goes on the front of the car?
He's got a jack in this old school car that he's never seen in his entire life. And one of the craziest things for me to even acknowledge is, how did you not see it in the trunk of your car when you bought the car? Why didn't you practice? Why didn't you do a drill? Why didn't you take this jack that's so much fun to jack and pump like this? And he didn't do it. So he has a scissor jack from some guy who has a restaurant that's selling, I don't know, Puerto Rican food or some shit like this.
Cuban food.
On Cuban food, all right, in Westfield, New Jersey, high-class neighborhood, lots of rich people. And him and his buddy are calling every tire salesperson in the neighborhood going, hey, can you come and get us? We have a little problem. And when you tell somebody who's just about to go home from work, you got a little problem, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. And they did. He couldn't get service anywhere. Then Uncle Michael comes in his car, and I'm like, what the fuck you guys doing? They didn't even jack up the car high enough to put the donut on the car.
True.
I'm like, yeah, the lugs are supposed to go through the lug nuts, and then you put the tire on, jack up the fucking car. So here I am, an hour and a half before my podcast, getting grease on my fingers, and they find some place that put air in the tire.
Oh my God.
And I don't know where the hell this place came from.
This was bad. I've never been. I'm from Queens. I've been to dicey areas. I was with Mike. Nobody fucks with Mike. I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. My friend here, who drove me over, was telling me, oh, there's this place called Tires R Us. Have you ever heard of Tires R Us before?
I never heard of Tires R Us. There's no such thing as a tire place that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In the
and
hood.
we went into the Plainfield, which is a bad neighborhood. And as soon as I drove by and I didn't see the sign, I kept on driving. And then I told these guys, I'm like, we need to get the fuck out of here before we get killed. And I'm sorry, it's a bad neighborhood. Then you drive down this street, and down the street you see signs that say,
Stop here, death.
Yeah.
Death.
Keep
Death
going.
awaits.
There was a sign that said seafood. You go in there and they go, do you sell fish? No, we only sell food. You see it, you eat it. That's it. And then everybody was buying beds. Mattresses. They were mattresses.
Half price used tires. I just saw what that guy said.
7 o'clock at night. Who's buying a mattress? Hey, you know what, sweetheart? I'm going to go out and get a mattress.
Mattress R Us.
Yeah, maybe we could find one that's got some pee left over on it.
In Manhattan, there's plenty of those. I hope that Bill de Blasio's sleeping on one right now.
So we put the donut on his car, and we got here, and we got back down to the basement. But it was funny to see these young guys make phone calls to places where if they were open, they'd have been taken advantage of. I mean, I don't know you people, but back in the day, if I had a flat tire, if I couldn't fix it myself, I pulled into some guy's house, and I said, look, here's $3, fix the car, and they did. So, but he's got a classic car. It's really cool. We're going to make some video content on it.
Well, we actually recorded the whole entire tire situation.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you see me rolling this tire out of
Yeah.
it. Looked like a speakeasy.
It was.
It
pretty
was a
much
speakeasy. Like, how did they know there was like 10 jacked up, fucked up cars behind this building, and there was 1 or 2 people in there just working? And then one guy goes to him, and don't get mad at me, but this is what happened. Can we fix this tire? And the guy goes, yeah, it's fix. You could fix. It's fix. How far can we drive on this tire? Oh, you can go. Go there, go. Fix. There's Frank Severo now. Anthony, I used to hang out in Mashpit. There he goes. Go ahead.
Oh, how you doing, Frank? I'm a big fan of yours. Yeah, where you're actually talking about is a couple blocks away from my house.
Yeah, well, hey, my arm is killing me. Frank and I are friends from back in the day out in Los Angeles, and who isn't a fan of Frank Severo? 2 of the most incredible movie roles in the history of movie making, The Goodfellas and The Godfather. Now, Frank's also been in a lot of different movies. He's had a lot of different TV appearances, too, even on some comedy shows. He used to come down to the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory back in the day when we were hanging. But that was really, really great back at that time. And Frank, I miss you, and I can't wait to have you come down the basement and have some raviolis with us, some gnouls and schweldels, shit like that. Buenos Aires is doing a big shout out right now to Big Time Tommy, who has a Cadillac collection too. And I know Big Time Tommy actually from doing shows with him out in Florida, but he's out in Long Island as well.
Yes,
Are you friends with him too?
He's right by me. I have met him a couple times. He is a gentleman, such a gentleman. But he's very close with Mikey D, who I got my car from.
Oh, is that right?
There
so
you
everybody's
go.
getting their cars from the same guy, Mikey D.
D.
We were doing shows out in Florida, and that's where I met Big Time Tommy. He was also friends with Sal, the voice,
Sal the
Valentinetti.
Voice. Another gentleman, great guy.
Guys I was doing shows with back in the original times. But speaking of all these great guys, tell us about your book.
Okay, so I'm 26, but I wrote a book about the 1970s. It takes place in 78, the year after Saturday Night Fever came out, so it was all the rage. That probably was not a 70s word, but it was groovy. My book is
What wasn't a 70s word?
all the rage.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah, and that's like more like the fucking 90s. But anyway, my book was actually based off of a screenplay.
Which one?
Of the same name, same exact content, but when I realized, I went to my
Finding
dad.
Forever? Wasn't that a cartoon about like a reindeer or some shit like that? Finding Forever.
Reindeer. Oh, how'd you get reindeer from there?
I
Get
don't know.
some
My fucking arm
carrots
is
and
killing me.
celery. But anyway, no, it was a screenplay, and I turned it into a book. What ended up happening was I went to my dad, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, I need a couple million to finance a film." And my dad smacked me in the face, and he said, "You gotta go get the financing somewhere." I did all the research. The best way to get something out there is by writing it down as a book, better
Right.
than anything else.
Say that again. I gotta fix my
Yeah.
camera.
Where do you want me to start? Take it
Let
from
somebody
the top?
fucking call now. God, suckers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We were experiencing technical difficulties,
difficulties.
and we couldn't go to a commercial break.
Where do you want to?
You were talking about the inspiration for writing your book.
Yes. So I published three books. My baby, though, is called Finding Forever, a 1970s love story. It takes place in 1978, and it's about a neurotic Italian-American man who falls in love with a girl who is a hippie. And she drives him so crazy that he leaves his Italian mom and elopes with her pretty much. But the whole story is about the contrast being between the two different characters. Like, what would happen if you brought home a hippie? I'm talking about like a commune hippie, like, peace, how you doing?
I get laid. And we'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Aside from that, I'm sure you.
Listen,
I'm sure you can lay down the
excuse me.
Roger.
I'm single right now.
Yeah.
And I'm in my house by myself. My family's not here.
True.
You're talking about what would happen if I came home with a hippie
Yeah.
and introduced her to
Yes.
my mom.
Yes.
My mother would say, "Oh, hello, hippie. It's so nice to meet you. Michael, I'd like a word with you in the other room." And then the door would shut. You'd hear, "Mannaggia Gesù Cristo, che sta feio sto cazzo, ah?" Mozzo Cristo, a puttana.
People don't even know what that means anymore.
A puttana?
Yeah. A putana.
A whore.
A hua. I'm gonna say it the Sopranos way. Hua.
My mother would bite her hand like this. "What do we know about these people? We don't know anything about these people. She could have been sleeping on the street the other night. Now she's sleeping in your bed. Watch, you don't want to sleep with your brother."
Damn. Talk about being blunt.
My mother would say that.
Yeah, my mom is like that too. Like, look, let's just say that one day I went out. She didn't like my shirt. She'd be like, "Take off your shirt. You look disgusting."
My mother would
Put on a
always
new
say,
shirt."
my mother would also say, "Your mother loves all people. I love anybody you bring in this door. But not this one."
Wait,
Something wrong with her.
I gotta shout out my boy, my one of my roommates, Matty OG, joined the chat. This is the guy that I want you to roast one day, Mike. I'll pay any amount of money that you want for you to roast him one day. He is content gold. How you doing, Matt?
Okay, we could do that.
His nickname is Matty OG. Because he's an original gangster.
He's the original. You could talk. I was eating.
Okay, I was just waiting. Gotta be polite,
No, don't wait. There's nothing worse than dead air. Pick up the time. Pick up the time. I think it's unbelievable that you would actually write that type of a book.
Thank you.
I always wanted to write a book. I'm trying to write one now. It's called Letters to My Mom, because I always wrote to my mother for 30 years when I was in Hollywood, sending her pictures of where I was and what I was doing and who I was meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But I can never write a love story. This seems to be like it's a love story.
Yep.
So how a young guy like yourself could write a love story, get it published, and put it out on the market is a true accomplishment. So
Thank you.
bravo to you.
Thank you.
Why don't you
means a
tell
lot.
everybody where you can actually get this book?
Wherever books are sold. So Barnes and Noble.
Hold on
Yeah.
while I say, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Wherever books are sold.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to my publisher too, Postal Press, Anthony Z over there, lived down the block from me, hooked me up. He's one of the reasons why I am where I am, sitting here with you. I owe him the world pretty much.
I think it's funny how everybody he mentions has a nickname. Mikey D, Joey Z,
Anthony
Frankie
Z.
A. But nobody has their ones. That's when you know you're around Italians, because you don't know their real last name.
Hold on one second. I just want to get a nice shot of me and Mike with the book. You know,
Wait, let me take my glasses
Mike,
off.
I want you to play my dad, and this becomes a movie.
Why am I playing your dad? I'm not that old. Well, I guess I am old enough
Yeah.
to play. Oh, now my fucking battery's going dead.
Oh, jeez, I think the video stopped again.
Hey, can you hand me that plug?
No, now it's paused, but I think
Plug
it
it
should
in
be
there.
all right.
It's not paused. Plug it in that bottom of the thing. There's nobody here. We're in the basement doing social distancing. See, when we have technical difficulties here on the Live from My Mother's Basement show, we just go with it. Because we want you people to wonder, did it really go wrong or did we plan it? Because we're funny people. I think it's really great. So he's saying you can get this wherever books are sold. I don't think I've heard that term in a long time. Get it wherever books are sold, which means you can steal it at the library. You can get it in a bookstore in New York City. You can get it in a bookstore anywhere. And on Amazon. You get it on Amazon? That's what everybody says now.
Yeah.
You can Kindle it.
Kindle it.
The
ebooks.
1970s New York, a
Neurotic.
somebody went to the bathroom. Italian-American man inspired to write a novel about would you stop shitting his love affair with quirky Broadway actress who inspires him to pursue his long line. Now, did you ever date an actress?
Couple.
Oh,
Couple.
you all right?
Interesting. They're just gonna say that it's interesting. I'm into like the girls that are like like Annie Holes,
Oh, really?
like Annie Hole with like the hats and like they're dressed all quirky and stuff.
So you're a very old soul.
100%.
Yeah, you like the way things used to be before you were even alive.
Yeah, I mean I was kind of raised in a pop culture bubble,
Yeah.
so I would like to say that my parents brought me up on all of the oldies. I pretty much don't know anything else. I know who the Kardashians are, but that's about it.
I could never keep up.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Kardashians, man?
I don't watch that shit. It's so fucking stupid. The shit that they put on television. All right, so we talked about the car, and it's a beautiful car. It really is. He's an old soul, but he doesn't really know how to change a tire, which is very sad.
True. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a product of my generation in that one way. I do have to admit, though, I did feel pretty good because my friend was like with me, and like he was like, "I'm gonna learn how to change a tire now." I at least knew the right direction to go in. He had no clue what to do, like not even a little bit. Don't shake your head, Mike.
You guys were in a nice place, a good area to change a tire. I mean, I would have went across the street to the empty parking lot where you have plenty of room instead of on the edge
Of a
the
restaurant.
crosswalk where people were. And you just got to remember when you jack up a car, don't go underneath it. It's not how you change the tire. The tire is not by the carburetor.
You're fucking killing me, man. You're roasting me.
It's great that he wrote this book, and hopefully
Thank
this
you.
book will turn into a movie. But right now, he left his job and started the new year off pursuing his career as a TikTok artist, an Instagram pain in the ass, a Facebook legend. Tell us what you're doing and how we could find you on that.
Don't tell my dad, but you pretty much just told him because he's probably watching this. He doesn't know I quit.
Oh,
Quit my 9 to 5.
well, hey, you shouldn't come on a
Imagine
talk
telling
show.
your old school parents, "Hey, Ma, I quit my 9 to 5. I'm gonna be on TikTok from now on."
Yes,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Now
Can
I
you imagine telling your
nowadays.
mother from Italy you're 16, Ma, I'm going to be an actor. Yeah, you're
True.
all fucking actors. Pick up the shovel and help your father.
True. True.
I heard all of that.
But no,
The
my
80s is calling. Man, I miss the 80s. I can tell you something about the 80s. You know how many people had these? None. You had to have a lot of money to have one of these fucking things. Your phone bill was like $500 a month. Hello? Who are you calling? I don't know. Nobody got one.
You still have to have a lot of money. I bought that. It's a prop. I tried to buy the real brick phone. Guess how much money? $1,000.
Well, I didn't mean to buy the phone. I meant to make phone calls.
No, I know, but even now, if I wanted to buy like the phone for like a prop, $1,000.
When my mother used to call me when I first went to California, she would go like this. This is your mother. Hurry up and talk. This is costing us a fortune. You're lucky you didn't live in those days. Now, how do you get a message to somebody? You send them a TikTok.
Are you making scuttle? I wish I was making scuttle.
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 Go for
I
it.
wish I was making it. Yeah. Well, you know what? Enough Just got a little to like get by, but that's what I got Mike for. Mike's gonna bankroll.
Let's do a shout out to Sharon Pfeiffer. She's a comedian and an actress out in Florida. Very, very funny. She worked with me a few times in Florida, especially in Boca Raton when we were at the Raz Room, and we were also at the Boca Black Box, two very prestigious theaters, and she performed with me while out there. So big shout out to Sharon. She's the one who's saying she knows your friends out in Long Island.
Yes.
In fact, Sharon also performed with me and Elise DeLucci when we were at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Long Island, and also Governor's. So that's where we got to hang out backstage when I was performing with Joe Gorga from the Jersey Housewives at Governor's. And we had that fantastic show. Wasn't it great?
That was one of the greatest experiences of my life, was to hang out with you and Joey Gorga.
There you go.
Greatest experience. Like, if you, two characters, like, just unbelievable time. Like, you know, him and Joe were hysterical. You guys should all check out their shows.
Speaking of which, now that we know about the book, does anybody have any questions for Anthony? Let's do that right now, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. I'm going to stand up and take a look. I haven't really seen who's writing in here on Facebook because we were having way too much fun. That's an actor right there. His name is Michael Mazzio. If you guys are watching right now on Facebook, go to Michael Mazzio. He's a fantastic actor. He's been in a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies, and recently one of the funniest TV commercials on the internet. You'll see you feature Michael Mazzio. He plays Marco in the pool when they go Marco Polo, and he's the Italian go, "Bitch into the polo." I don't even know what the commercial's for, but if anybody could tell me. Ray Lombardo is also a great writer. He wrote a book that's upstairs in my house also. You got to autograph your book to me. He autographed my book. It's called More Like Brothers. Oh my God, I pulled that out of the air.
More Like Brothers.
More Like Brothers. It's a story, a true story based on his life and family in the mob, I believe, in Philadelphia. And it's upstairs. I got a lot of mobster books written by mobsters who gave me the book.
I wonder why.
Claudia Quintal, how are you? It's nice to see you.
He's screwed.
Who's screwed?
Me or you? I don't know. Someone's screwed.
What are you reading?
Look, he's screwed. OMG, he's screwed.
Yeah, I know, if that's what that means. Oh, okay. Now they are thinking perishable items, oils, but no one management could agree on using gravy without adding. Oh, we got time for all of that. Keep it short. Keep it short. That's my friend Frances Cisco. She's absolutely hilarious, and she's going to be on my show the last day of the month of January, the Not So Late Show. I got two great characters coming on my The Not So Late Show, and that one is going to be Frances Cisco, very, very funny female comedian, actress, singer, and also Esposito, Jenna Esposito, who got nominated, I believe, for a Grammy, or is close to getting a Grammy. She's going to be on the show as well. That's the last Sunday of January, January 30. So if you guys are interested in seeing that show, just go to Mike Marino Live here on Facebook and get yourself a ticket. It's only $4.99. That's going to be a great show. I can't wait to see that. So you got to have Vinny and me on.
Of course it's Vinny.
Okay.
Vinny and Ray. Does it get more?
Well,
Italian than that?
here's a little great conversation for you to hear.
Mm-hmm.
The original drummer in the E Street Band was a guy they called Vinny Mad Dog Lopez. They called him Mad Dog because he was prone to fight. And when the E Street Band was first formed, they got in a lot of barroom brawls because they wouldn't pay the band. And Vinny Mad Dog was the first guy to throw a punch. And we all know that because I ended up becoming friends with Vinny Mad Dog Lopez, who's on the first 3 albums of the Bruce Springsteen collection. And he's also now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So hats off to Vinny Lopez, who came to one of my shows at the Paramount Theater in Asbury Park. And at that show was Ray Lombardo, who became friends with Vinny and is writing and creating that book series called More Like Brothers. There's some nostalgia there. In fact, I wanted to have Vinny on the show but he's in Florida right now, so we'll make that happen. So there you go, Ray. I'm glad you're happy and you're laughing about that. Anybody else got some direct questions for our friend Anthony? And maybe you guys want to see where his new TikToks are going to be airing, because I might be in one or two. And guys, if you guys remember the young lady who was on the last Not So Late show, Chrissy Balls, she's been doing a lot of TikToks too, and I hope her TikToks grow and she becomes a superstar and not too famous to come down to the basement and fix the TV, phone, something, and bring cakes that we don't eat and they go bad because there's too many. So look up Chrissy Balls.
Wait, I just want to say one thing. You say I have friends with like nicknames, Chrissy Balls?
Well, that's not my name. I didn't give her that name.
First beat from the E Street. That's pretty cool. Like, you know someone from the E Street band. I mean, not many people get to say that. They know someone that was with Bruce Springsteen, like, you know?
Frank
Unless you know
Severo,
Bruce.
Johnny Roast Beef. Well, okay, so here's a little story if you want to hear this one. Somebody asked Anthony a question, but a long time ago there was a show in Asbury Park called Light of Day, the Light of Day Music Foundation, and they were putting on shows, and I was asked to host a show at the Paramount and also at the legendary, see this bowling pin, the Fast Lane, and I was hosting the show, and Bruce Springsteen and E Street Band was supposed to close the big show, and Bruce didn't show up. Somebody else filled in for him. So I already met everybody in E Street Band anyway, but it was nice to be on stage with them, and it was going to be a great night. I couldn't wait to say, ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Springsteen, but that didn't happen. Here comes a question from Mies Mary. Anthony, what was your 9-to-5 job that you quit?
So
He can't say it. His
Yeah.
father's watching. His father's watching right now. If he says he quit his 9-to-5, his father's going to kick his ass when he gets home. Then he's going to even really hit him even harder because you don't know how to change a tire.
Yeah, exactly. But he's gonna flip out when he knows how to flat. But what was I gonna say? I worked in media marketing for a small company on Long Island.
Oh, so now he's on his own. So now he needs money. So let's start up a GoFundMe. Bada bing _babe _IE joined.
Anthony.
Sharon Pfeiffer. Anthony, now that the book's been published, do you have a plan to have it produced theatrically?
Amazing that she said that, because I have a musical ready to go. Think of Rock of Ages, but in the 70s, with all of the dirty jokes and 70s references, all of the best music that you could ever imagine.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. When Anthony is saying he's going to turn his script into a musical, which is right up my alley. The way I sing, the way I dance, I've been doing backflips, front flips, I do ballet, I know latitude, longitude, plie, attitude.
I think I got another question.
These
And
things
who
are
wrote-
fucking hysterical. I hate when nobody laughs. It's fucking
I know.
hilarious. Sons of bitches. When this COVID's over, everybody's coming to the basement. Okay. Sharon says she loves it. You rock. Who rocks? I think I rock. Was thinking that. She was thinking
that
you
was
should
for
make a
me.
musical. Hey,
I think
fucking
that
rock.
you
I
rock.
rock. We
Was-
both rock. I had an eye rock. Wait a minute. Here's me and my eye rock. Come on, we're going to Temptations.
Yo, that's great.
No, here's me and my eye rock. Put this on your fucking TikTok. Ready? We'll pretend you're in the car. Yeah, who's driving? I'm driving.
You,
right.
it's gotta
I'm
be-
driving. Right. We're going to come on, we're going fast. We're going to Temptations. Everybody's meeting for happy hour at 3 o'clock. Hold on a minute, I gotta pay a toll.
You don't even pay tolls anymore. Well,
Remember
you know,
that
like the
shit?
toll booth.
I gotta pay the toll. What was it? It was a rock. Fuck him.
I gotta ask you another question, Mike. You know, you're an old school guy. Imagine if Sonny from The Godfather had Easy Pass.
Oh.
The whole plot line to like the film would be gone.
Oh yes. Oh, I thought you were asking me to do an improv.
No, well, you could do that too.
Could you imagine he had easy pass?
Yeah.
He'd have ran over 6 guys. I didn't see his. What are you doing there? Oh, I think I was going to get killed. Here's Sonny with no easy pass. What the fuck was that? All right, we're having a lot of fun. He's too young to remember the coin toss for tolls. Are you? Are you too young to remember we used to throw coins into the toll?
Yes. I am too young for that.
Okay, so what's your point? And Aunt, tell Greg what Italians call charcuterie board so he can start calling it the right thing. Who's Greg? Oh,
Wait, finish the message. You have to
Greg.
finish the message.
Calling it so he can call it the right thing.
No, the at the bottom.
Well, I don't know who is that. Aha. Who's that? Or is that?
That's how he laughs. He doesn't have a normal laugh. He laughs like
Oh, really?
Yeah, I swear, like count like
Like a count on the
Literally.
Sesame Street.
Literally like that.
2 plus 2 is 4. Ha.
Yes, exactly.
Remember that
If you
guy?
knew him, you'd know how funny it is,
creep.
man.
1 apple. 2 apple.
You ever see the Family Guy where the count's on a date
No.
and the chick takes off her shirt and he's counting her nipples? He's like, 1 nipple, 2 nipples, 3. Oh, fuck, I'm out of here.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Growing up, we watched the Sesame Street Family Hour at night, I guess, with Fozzie Bear. He was the opening act. He was a comedian. And the 2 old guys up in the balcony who were saying the show sucked. We had a friend on our show who was publicizing her charcuterie, and she sold a lot because of this show and how delicious her charcuterie boards were. It was the first time I actually heard the term charcuterie, because like you and your friends, we thought it was called antipast.
Well, not Greg, clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Charcuterie boards is when you have pieces of meats and pieces of cheese and almonds and grapes.
Pubic hairs.
That's never happened to me. I would never eat a pubic hair charcuterie.
I feel like that you're like a pussy if you have if you have a charcuterie board.
Well, you can
imagine. I
not
can't
if you're
even
promoting it and trying to get money from it.
True. No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Look at now your friend's saying amen.
I mean solely Greg. Really, no one's a joke for that.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of fun here in the basement, but there's a lot of pastry down here, and there's some coffee that needs to be made. I can't wait to dig into this beautiful set of pastries that was brought over by my friend Anthony from Fortunato Brothers since 1976, all the way out there in Brooklyn. Tell us one more time where we can find you on the internet, and then we'll say goodnight to everybody.
Sure. You can find me on TikTok at Big Caddy Daddy. Tomorrow's breakfast before the morning walk. Oh, nice. I think he means Fortunatos. You can find me at Big Caddy Daddy. My Instagram is Anthony Sciarratta. I post great Italian themed content, and I'm going to be collabing with Mike a lot soon too. So I'm excited.
Yes, I'm going to be part of a lot of different TikToks, and remember, I'm not the one that created it. They did. So if you see me on his TikTok or another one called Chrissy Balls, it had nothing to do with this shit. And there's our friend from last week, Michelle Traina from Divorced Diaries. It's a new year, folks. It's time to go out on tour. MikeMarino.net will let you know when I'm coming into your neighborhood. Next week, if everything goes right, I'll be on the Serenade of the Seas by Royal Caribbean out in the Caribbean, just soaking up the sun, having some fun. And from there, January 18, January 19, January 20. The Jersey Boys start out the whole new year on tour. That's me and Joe Gorga from the Jersey Housewives. We're going to Syracuse. We're going to Albany. We're going to Hartford, Connecticut to play the Funny Bones. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be off the hook. And seriously, I don't even know what the hell is going to happen. It's the type of show you want to get involved in. January 22, I'm doing a nice fundraiser right in Union, New Jersey at the Elks Club. Go to MikeMarino.net. You'll see what's going on from there. January 30th, we're going to be here in the basement doing the Not So Late Show. It's 7 o'clock. It's only $4.99. To catch that show, please turn it in, turn it on, and come and say hello. From there, February is filled from Florida to Connecticut, New York City, New Jersey, and if nothing gets canceled, Tampa, Florida, and then March is wide open. Also, Atlantic City, Boston. Come and watch the Jersey Boys on tour. I got to get going. My name is Mike Marino. Thank you so much for coming down to the basement and hanging out with me and my friend Anthony. He's got to get in his car right now and drive all the way back to the Bronx.
On a donut.
On a donut while I eat pastries. All right? Let's make America Italian again. Remember my motto. You don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my broadcasts? By always saying the same thing. Ready? Don't take no shit from nobody. All right, good night. Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.